So what's up? What's up? It's your boy K Still, and I'm here with the lovely LW, light skin wonder. Something nice to look at, and she smells good. You hear me, people? So we in this thing, and welcome to Pillow Talk with Steph and Ken, and we got a special guest. What's the special guest name, Stephanie?
Well, this is my homegirl. Her name is JQ Margaret the Wizard.
And where's she coming from?
She coming from down the street. You know,
just down the street?
Yeah, I've been knowing her for about 6 years now.
That's what's happening.
And we really connected. We sync when we're together, so
Is that right?
it should be a good show.
Oh, this should be a good show because I got some questions.
Okay. Oh.
Now I got some questions about Steph over here. So
What?
hey, Miss JQ, how you doing, the Wizard?
I'm good. How y'all doing tonight?
We doing all right. We doing all right. It's always lovely when we got a guest on. So tonight, what y'all want to talk about?
Let's talk about open relationships.
Ooh, we just kind of want to go there.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, well, let's start off with the guest, Miss JQ. What's your take on open relationships? Is that a yay or nay? What is that for you?
For me personally, or in general?
In general, personal, however you want to look at it. How about this? Let's go with personal first, and then speak from a general perspective. Let's go with that.
Personally, I don't like to share.
Oh, that sounds like Steph over here.
Huh?
I said that sounds like Steph over here.
However, I have considered what that would be like, what the benefits would be, the pros and the cons. So, yeah. For me, no. But who knows? Within the next couple of years, I might be like,
What?
yeah, everybody should do one.
We didn't quarantine, and now she want to be.
She want to switch over. So, okay. So, question then. If that's the case, let's go ahead and talk about it then. If that's the case, that's actually a nice segue. So, would it be two women, you and another lady, and a guy, or how would that be? Two guys and you?
That's a good one.
I'm curious.
I mean, if I have that choice, that would be two guys.
Oh, somebody's a freak. But we ain't gonna tell nobody else. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna tell nobody else. So, Steph, what is your take on open relationships?
None.
Okay. Why is it none? An automatic none? That came out too quick.
I don't like to share.
Okay.
And it just leads. I feel like it'll just lead to something else after that. Like, you always gonna want the person here, or you ever gonna want me to yourself or by yourself? We always gotta have company. No, I don't want to share.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I think for me, I'm good. I think I'm okay with not sharing. I think it just convolutes things. It can be more complicated than it needs to be. But I've also seen relationships, like, for example, I was doing an audition, this is sometime last year, and one of my friends, he was into polygamy. Isn't that what it's called? Polygamy? And one of the things that he was sharing, he had a young lady at the table with him at the audition. And so we were all talking, and she was really, really quiet. And what he was telling me was he had thought about doing it, but he wanted to do it with his ex-girlfriend and his new girlfriend. And it was almost the way she was so silent in the matter. I was like, I'm feeling her vibe. She not really feeling it, but she liked this dude. She really cared about it. So it sounded like he just convinced her to do it, right? So what ended up happening was he went to the restroom. And so when he went to the restroom, I asked her, I said, what is your take on what you're thinking about doing? And she was young. She was about 22. He's in his 30s. And she was like, well, he kind of, we talked about it, and I think it's a lot of benefits to it. I said, but deep down in your heart and your spirit, what do you feel? And she says, I don't know. And I was like, why would you make a life decision like this if you are uncertain? Like, we all have uncertainties, right? But why would you make that decision? So the more we began to talk and she started to open up a little bit, it was very clear to me and the other people that was at the table that that's not her route. That's not what she really wanted. And my thing is not to judge anybody that wants to go in that route. That's what y'all want to do it. But make sure if you open that door, make sure you really want to go both feet in like that.
Right.
Because if you're not doing it, if it's just a phase and you're just going jumping feet first and you have no idea what you're doing, it can open up a whole nother can that you may not be able to close. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take? So from a general perspective, what do you think about that?
Me, I think it's something that can be done. I think it has to be done in a respectful manner. Whoever's deciding to do it, whether you initiate it or not, definitely find out why you're doing it. If it's not something you really want, don't go into it, because it is going to test you like you've never been tested before. It's going to open up some wounds. It's going to make some new ones. It could be very beneficial and adventurous at the same time, not just talking about in the bedroom, but overall, you may find inspiration. People joke, remember that old show, Sister Wives? People are like, oh, that's your sister wife. So you have people who make jokes and stuff about that. If you are taking it up polygamy route, right. But I definitely think that it's not something you jump into lightly. And it's not something you jump into for somebody else. You do it because that's something you want to do, and you can see yourself getting something out of it. The way I look at it is almost, if I'm not trying to be funny, but it's almost a natural evolution to a relationship, because you get to a point where, keep in mind, the same person that you start dating in 99 is not that same person in 2000.
Right.
So over time, people change, their needs change, their motivations change, what they like to look at changes, and people grow apart. We know that. Right. And sometimes you may need some different type of glue to keep y'all together. So
question.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought this? Like, has this something that's been on your heart recently? Since due to COVID, you had a lot of time to think about it?
No.
Or is this something since?
No. You always hear about it. You always hear about it popping up every now and then, and then every time you look around, you see somebody upset because their spouse cheated. So it's like, you in an open relationship whether you want to or not. Right. If that's the case,
right?
Because you got people that's going behind your back doing it. Well, if that's the case, like I said, the reason I said it may be a natural evolution is because if they're out there doing it anyway, you don't know who they're doing it with. You don't know what precautions they're taking. I know one guy who say he don't even use a condom. He done mess with multiple women and don't use a condom, So it's like, you don't know what's been done behind your back. If you are...
I'm curious, though. By opening up the relationship, does that... In your mind, does that guarantee that person is just going to be faithful to you and your significant other? But opening a relationship is opening yourselves up to all the other stuff that come along with it. So there's benefits. Yes, you have. If everybody's on one accord, you got financial benefits. If everybody's sexually, right, you can meet each other's needs. Like one lady I seen, they were like in Europe. It was a black lady. She was, it was a sister, right? She was with a white dude. And she was a black dude. And she was like, look, we don't all have sex at the same time. There's benefits that way. She gets what she likes, he gets what he likes, and the other dude get what he likes. But what about the negative aspects of the open relationship? In your mind, do you think, Stephanie, you can chime in at any point, do you think it's more pros than cons when it comes to open? Because that open is a lot. Open relationship.
I feel like it can graduate. It can lean towards more cons because the other person might get jealous. To me, there's STDs. You don't know, once it's open, you don't know who all these other people are sleeping with. Also, you bringing that in your house. Spiritually, it's just a lot more negative. I mean, you have it's pros. Couple nights, okay, and then what? Somebody get pregnant, and then what?
Well, I mean, if you got 2 parents and 3 parents in a household, And that's a whole nother situation. I want you to think about it like, say, Miss JQ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say you meet a guy, you meet two guys that's actually down.
Mm-hmm.
How much homework are you doing on these two gentlemen before you say, you know what, this is actually going to be the perfect pair? These two cats get it. We can do this thing. You know what I mean? And then what if? Oh, go ahead.
It's a vibe. It comes down to, for me, it comes down to energy reading almost. You know, how do they mesh well? How do I mesh with them? You know, if it's all three of us hanging out, you know, one guy may be clingy, whereas the other one is not.
Right.
You know, like it all comes down to a energy thing. Stephanie said it. She said spiritually, if we all connected, bam, there you go. Just like there can be tons of negatives, there can be tons of positives too to a situation like that, you know? And then it's like, you got open relationships and you got polygamy. Those are two different things.
Okay.
You know, one can graduate into the other. You know, one can downgrade into the other. But that's why I said you got to figure out why you are doing it. You know, if you just doing it because you feeling like, you know, like I said, the person's going to cheat anyway, so I'm going to do it. That's not enough, you know. But if you really feeling,
right?
Exactly. But if you feeling like, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If you feeling like you really are going to get something positive out of it and experience, go for it. Because keep in mind, you don't have to. This is not the way you have to live forever.
Right.
You know, you could say, you know what? Let's do something temporary. You know, if you're already in a relationship, or you can be dating and say, I just want to let you know, you are not the only person I'm interested in.
How does that work when it comes to the trust factor? So when you're open, and I think Steph was alluding to that before. It can be some insecurities and trust issues, right? Like say,
if you pick up on that, that's a no. If I pick up on you having trust issues or you've been a jealous person, that's a no. That is not. I'm not interested.
Okay, so how long does it take for you to be in a relationship before you consider it open? And then how long? That's one. The other aspect is, what if that person hasn't shown you that side of them? Because you're not going to know that right off bat. I believe that time reveals all truth. Like when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? How much time?
But here's the thing. Spiritually, you will know. If you are in tune with yourself spiritually, you know sooner than you think. Right. All that stuff, like your spirit, everybody's spirit reveals themselves sooner than later.
Right.
But we, as human beings, with our rational selves, with our science and our technology, we go and gloss over that. Or we got to give them the benefit of the doubt. My spirit told me, you not cool. I can't give you the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Okay.
You know, so we know prior to. If you're not tapped into yourself first, don't tap into nobody else.
That's
JQ the Wizard.
In the building. From down the street. Just make sure y'all say from down the street.
from down the street.
Y'all can get it. So, what, willing to compromise for that person? Like, say, for instance, you're in a relationship with somebody, and it's on your heart to kind of bring this across to them. Like, you know what? I think our relationship should be open. And say that person has a hard time with it, but you've been with this person for a while. Are you going to make that compromise and say, you know what? My significant other doesn't like this. It doesn't feel right to them spiritually, naturally, or otherwise. And they know themselves. They might have insecurities or jealousies about it. Would you compromise that part of you to say, you know what? We're actually doing pretty good. I would rather just stick with you. Or, I think we should open it up, and you would leave that person, or what? Stay with them.
No, I would stick with them. If me wanting to open it up has something to do with something wrong in the relationship, then I'm leaving.
Okay.
You know, something triggered me to want to open it up. If me saying, wow, we are so good together, let's see if we can be adventurous with this thing. That's what triggered it. You get what I'm saying? Right. If he's like, nah, okay, I'm cool. Well, okay, let's add in an addendum. what is a relationship but a contract anyway, right? So how about we do if it's a sexual thing, let's do a threesome twice a year.
Okay.
You know, you pick the person, you pick the scenario, like whatever. There are ways to compromise. So for me, it's not a deal breaker if you don't want to be, because that's not a common thing, especially in the United States. That's not a common thing. As a country, I personally feel as a country, we are fairly immature in our relationship beliefs and the way we deal with sex. You know, like sex is a very natural, primal thing, but it's so taboo. It's no, you don't tell the kids about it. You don't introduce it. You know, but it's natural.
I think we have to go beyond the whole natural aspect though, because it can definitely, yes, it's something that is natural, absolutely. However,
but and again, that's just the sexual part of it.
No,
yeah.
I'm saying from the sexual part of it. If we just go physical, fleshly, from that aspect of it, yes, it is a natural thing. However, there should be some kind of moral compass, though. Yes, we should be able to talk to our kids about it, but I think the whole taboo part, me personally, when it comes to the sex and what is being forced down the kids' throats and what has been, I think personally, with the United States and the rest of the world, everything is over centralized. Everything is about sex, is underlying sex, like with the music industry, the movies, everything. Commercials, everything is over sexualized, and they're introducing it to our kids a lot earlier. Like they want to tell kids what their sex should be at, say, 3 and 4 years old. You know what I mean? They're like, they're old enough, and they shouldn't, because the childs are not old enough. Their brains are still developing. They're not old enough to really comprehend what adults are forcing upon them. I'm not saying hide them from things. I'm saying wait until they're truly ready to know what that really is with that conversation. That makes any sense?
Absolutely. And I would agree 100%, which is why I said I feel like the United States is very immature in their beliefs about sex, because I feel like all of that is them being immature. That's like a person who's like a youngster who got high for the first time. What do? They go tell everybody they got high.
Right.
They go spread it out, publicize it. When you got a brand new Christian, what they do? They want to pray for everybody. They want to tell everybody they went to church.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's like the United States, when it comes to sex, what they do, they want to blast it all over the place. Everybody twerking. Oh, that little girl got a woman's body. They do these very immature things when it comes to sex.
Right.
You know? And I feel like as a country and its beliefs are very immature, and it's the reason they put stuff out on social media. There is no discretion anywhere.
And I think it should be. I think, okay, so
absolutely.
So think about it. Like back in the 80s. See, I'm an old head. I'm 42, right? So y'all might be some tenders. You a tender? Steph, you a tender?
I'm an 80s baby.
Okay. Oh, I'm a 70s baby. So if I'm born in, I'm 78. I'm hecka old.
Please.
Hey, I got a few gray hairs though. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to age gracefully, as somebody would say.
Got that salt and pepper.
Oh,
all right,
sookie now. They call me Zaddy. No, I'm joking.
Shut up.
Hey. But I remember, do you remember like back in the days, everything was so monetized, sensitized, everything. You had, if you wanted something, let's say BET or MTV videos and different things, they waited until a certain time. Like it was very taboo to have sexualized commercials and different things on television after a certain time. They waited until everybody went to bed when they knew kids were asleep. Why?
Right.
Because somebody had enough moral compass in the media department to say, you know what? These babies are not ready. Now they're putting it in books. They're like, oh yeah, they should be okay with being homosexual. Yeah, they can be. Somebody's kid was like, I want a sex change at like 7 or 5.
And
And that bothers the heck out of me because, I got kids. I got 2 girls and a boy. And I'm going to keep it 1,000. Let my kids come to me when they were younger, talking about they want some sex changes. No, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk and we're going to figure some stuff out. But that ain't happening.
Right.
You ain't finna tell me what God gave you, right? As a male or woman from birth, and you finna change that up. That's not gonna work. I think we just gotten to the point where anything goes and no moral compass. There's no moral standards anymore. Could I be wrong? What about you, Steph? What do you think?
You're right. I feel like it's a lot of, excuse me, it's a lot of trends and fads going on right now. Oh, she doing that. I want to do it. Oh, she got a weave. I want one. And I feel like a lot of people are out here. Oh, she dating a woman. I want to date a woman just to be cool, just to fit in. You ain't even gay.
Right. Right.
You just trying to do it just because the trend is, I see this celebrity doing it. Oh, this celebrity got this big old donkey teeth. Let me go get some. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I seen this dude. I want you to finish, but I seen this guy on the video. Y'all might have seen him. This fool was walking across the beach with the bikini bottoms on.
With the fake butt.
Oh, wow.
Looking like an ant.
Hey, he had heck dips for no reason. Hey, player, go hide that. He looked like he had a whole butt on top of one. It just didn't look right. It literally looked like an ant butt. And it was like, man, people are just destroying their bodies and whatnot for attention.
Chest implants, calf implants.
Just a little bit of everything. So I think...
and you said it, attention.
Yes.
Yeah,
no, you said it. It's for attention. It's absolutely for attention.
And so I think that open relationships, yay or nay, whatever you decide to do, I think that people should really do their homework first. Most people see the fad like we're talking about, and they don't do the necessary homework. They need to look at the pros, the cons, the what ifs, the what if nots, and really say, okay, from a natural perspective, a spiritual perspective, relational perspective, like everything, and then say, you know what, this actually works out for us. Let's do whatever we're going to do. But I think most people don't do it. They just jump right in and say, hey, this looks like fun until it gets not so fun.
Until you get that fatal attraction.
Yeah.
So
killing
go ahead.
I
knew. I've heard of. There was two people I knew. One, they opened their relationship temporarily, and it was usually around like a milestone anniversary between her and her husband. And they would, excuse me, they would do that every, I want to say 5 years or so. And it backfired on her, and she had to deal with some cheating issues in her relationship. And then I know a young lady, her and her husband, they would go and on a regular basis, so it wasn't milestones, they would go and actually go to swinging parties. Yeah. And they would go to these parties, and there was another couple that they would meet up with regularly with in these parties and outside of the party set.
Okay.
And her husband, and keep in mind, I'm talking strictly the physical part of their relationship. As also with the first one, it was just the physical part of her relationship, not the actual relationship itself, which encompasses so many other things. So with this part, they would on a regular basis have these swinging encounters with this other couple, and her husband ended up having an injury to his back. I think at work or something. So he had to have back surgery, so he couldn't participate. So, however, they would still meet up, and his wife would interact with the other couple, and he would just be there as support, because he enjoyed it just as much as she did. He just couldn't participate, but he wasn't going to stop her from enjoying herself because of his back. But he was there as much as he could be present in the situation. And so I feel like that's a situation where you have a couple who thought out some stuff, who considered each other's feelings, who had a conversation. They were comfortable having that conversation with no reservations, and they still moved on even through an obstacle, And that's why I say there are just as much as there can be negative ways. I think it has, negative results. I think it has a lot to do with the person, the individual. If you are going into this saying we can do this every 5 years, you already have reservations about it. And we know what those we can guess, take a calculated guess about what those reservations are. Infidelity.
Absolutely.
Then you have a couple who's very open with themselves, each other. You know, because keep in mind, you really can't have an open relationship unless you're already open in your relationship.
Right.
You know? And so when you have aired out all of that, I feel like you can approach an open relationship in a healthy manner. You know, forget what everybody else is saying and doing on social media and how people feel about it. If you and your significant other can, in a healthy manner, move forward into an open relationship or a polygamous relationship, I think it's possible. You know? And these are two different people I know personally that have gone through these things. And I feel like, wow, one of them, there was some reservations, some trust issues that had not been expressed and resolved, whereas the other one, it was. And sitting here talking about both of them, I will tell you, when I mentioned the first one, spiritually, energetically, I felt heavy. Okay?
Right.
Talking about the other one, I literally feel lighter and free and refreshed.
So it feels like
because I talked to both of these.
It sounds like one of them, and it sounds like one of them in your mind is being justified because of the physical limitations of the man, right?
Well, there's nothing. There's really nothing to justify. I just feel like.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Oh no, I'm just saying. I just feel like one. I feel like that could have went left.
Right.
If this man had an issue with his back and his wife is saying, well, I still want to, you know, he's like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. Then that means there's a reservation there. That you are only allowing her to do this because you can do it too.
Right.
I think at the end of the day, just from my perspective, I think at the end of the day, it opens so many other doors. Because how do you know if that person is being faithful to you and only doing it on those special occasion times? And then it opens up so many doors from a spiritual perspective. Every time we sex somebody, those soul ties, you don't know what that person is carrying. You're taking a piece of that person with you every time you're having sex. It's so many other aspects than just having fun for that moment. I don't care if sex was lasting 10 hours. That's a little bit too long. Praise God. But that's way too long. But do you see what I'm saying? So it's so much more to it. So we just want to say thank you. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the insight. We thank you for tuning in. We definitely gonna have to have you back.
All right. You know, I'm just down the street.
Hey, down the street. She gonna have to slide to the studio for the one time. You know what I mean? And
all right.
We appreciate you. We honor you today, and we just thank you for participating. So we definitely gonna have some more conversations. So please be looking forward to some more phone calls with Pillow Talk with Ken and Steph. You know what I'm talking about?
All right. Thank you guys for inviting me. It was definitely a new experience for me. So I appreciate it, Stephanie, for you even thinking about me.
It's all good. So we will be talking to you soon. Talk to you in a minute.
Okay.
Peace out.
All right.
Bye.
So check this out. It's Ken and Steph, Pillow Talk with Ken and Steph, and we just appreciate JQ the Wizard in the building. She came on, she gave her insight. Now, I'm curious, man. Y'all, some of y'all listening, y'all done thought about it, but some of y'all had some reserves. I think for me, I'm super reserved with that. I'm not gonna do it, but that's just me personally. There's no judgment to no one who decides to do it. But from my spiritual beliefs, I don't want to be attached to people, especially, no real connection to them. Yeah, your name for you again?
No.
It's a no for her. And so we appreciate y'all for letting us talk your ear off and giving the comments and let us know what y'all think about the open relationships.